Right, so we are talking now Sky Sports, Sky Football with Gary Neville. Vassos, over to you.
Yes, Gary, you were our first ever sports guest on this show.
I was.
You were, and I won't repeat what you said at the time I asked you whether you'd like Manchester City or Liverpool to win the title. And your answer was memorable.
Was it?
Yeah, you can't remember it, but we can. It was very funny. It was very funny. So yeah, let's talk football. Let's talk this weekend. It's the Manchester derby. Your old club could do with the points, but then so could City.
Yeah, I'm worried about United. To be honest with you, I can't even get to the weekend yet because we've got Tottenham tonight at home, and that worries me. Jose going back there, but I think the game at the weekend is huge, obviously in the city. And City are a lot better than us at the moment, and that's the big worry, that it could be a bit of a drubbing. But I'm always confident before a game in the sense that I just think something's going to happen that's peculiar, and I'm hoping something peculiar happens on Saturday at the Etihad.
But for years it was the other way around.
Oh, it was many years. It was amazing.
Yeah, but that's now in the past.
It's gone. Right, long gone.
How does it feel for the tables to be turned? How did it happen?
Do you know what I think? I'm okay with it because growing up for 15, 20 years, Liverpool were winning everything and United weren't winning much. And I coped with it okay. It was fine. So I've actually lived through a period like that. I think it's a lot more difficult for the fans who are sort of 25, and under, because they've never seen it this sort of period before. It's the first time they're going through it, and it's painful. And you see the two teams at the top now, City and Liverpool. It does look like it's a long way back, but things always turn, and United will return. But in the short term, I do fear for them because the team's nowhere near good enough, and the quality, experience is lacking. There's a lot of things to fix.
I mean, Ollie does have a job on his hands. Will he be given the time?
I hope he gets given the time. I said a couple of weeks ago he needs to go and spend some money in January to give those young lads that are playing there. They've got some talent. They need support and experience around them, or else they're going to... Well, they're folding in games. Away from home in particular. Away from home will catch you out in football. It's where you're obviously tested most.
Why is that? Yeah, come on, why is that?
It just is. You're on other people's patch. It's lack of familiarity. Other teams' fans. It's just different. I mean, it shouldn't be. The great teams can overcome it. The real great teams overcome it. But usually, if you've got a weakness and a fragility, it'll get found out away from home, and that's what United have.
But that can tell us so much about life as well, can't it?
What was the worst place to play as an opposition player?
Liverpool.
What was the play? Was it Anfield
Anfield's the toughest place to play. Yeah, it was the most rewarding to win as well, and which we won there quite a few times, Chris. We did a lot.
You won about half a time. What was your best?
We won a lot.
What was your best game at Anfield then? Just one. Name me one. Come on, Prime Minister.
We won the league there, I think, one year. Well, we beat Liverpool and essentially won the league. We sort of did.
You didn't win the league there. You listened to Trump too much.
We sort of did.
You sort of didn't because you didn't.
Well, it was near the end.
Okay, fair enough. Now let's talk about current managers. We can talk about those, but let's talk about Alex Ferguson. Okay, what did he do? What was his magic? How did he conduct that orchestra, which seemed to just be unstoppable?
He got 22 on average, 22 players every single day, desperate to work as hard as they could, never giving. Every single day for 20 years. I never saw any drop in standards at all. And it was very simple. If you didn't meet those standards, the standards he set weren't around talent or skill or performance levels, because he trusted his own judgment in that. It was more around your own application, that choice every single day that each of us have to work as hard as we can and never give in. And those teams just had that running right the way through it. And for 20 odd years, every single player that you played with, whether they were from Manchester or whether they were from Africa, Asia, France, whatever part of the world they were from, they all bought into it.
Why doesn't he come back?
He's done it, hasn't he?
Done it. He's been and done it.
He's done it. I mean,
but he still loves it.
Yeah, but he's moved on though.
But that's where this type of period that the club are going through at the moment takes you. It's nostalgia. It becomes, let's go back. Let's look back at what Sir Alex did. Let's look back at what those players did. And it's a real horrible period for the club to be in because you're essentially comparing to the past all the time, and it's awful. The club needs to move away from that. Everybody needs to move away from that, and we do as well. But it's just difficult because it's so recent.
What went wrong with Jose Mourinho at Man United? Because it was like the match made in heaven, wasn't it?
It's the only place he's never won a league. Well, he's in his second job now. He won't win a league at Tottenham either. So,
Did you hear Alan Brazil's amazing prediction when Jose Mourinho got the job? Do you remember that? You played it out. Do you remember?
He said
He says,
They might finish
he said,
fifth.
well, with Jose, they might finish fifth. And I think Ali McCoy was on the same. They said, well, they're only 3 points off fifth anyway.
Yeah, they could be
Well,
fifth
okay,
next
fourth,
week.
fourth then, fourth.
What went wrong? I think there's a couple of things. One, Pep Guardiola at City is special and had an incredible team and was further ahead than United.
And he's very humble, isn't he, Pep Guardiola?
Yeah.
He seems to be, from what
I think he is. I mean, look, I think they all have an ego and they all have a side to them, else they wouldn't be doing the job they're doing.
Doesn't he have talks with like everybody who works at the club? Doesn't he invite like the chefs and the dinner ladies in to just have a big old chat? And it's like we're one here. And...
Yeah, but they're the sort of stories you hear when people are winning.
Right.
It's true. In football, you hear all these stories about how when people are winning, everything goes right. They do the simple things right. And then in football, when you're losing, you just hear every single negative story that Jose did this and Jose wouldn't do that. And that's just football. It's the nature of it. But Pep, if Pep doesn't win, I'm sure he'll start to be seen differently. But he's won. He's been brilliant and he's been sensational at City for 2 years. That points record is unbelievable.
Right, now we are getting very football-y here. Is there anybody else bored? Because
Yeah.
we love this chat.
I am.
Gary has to do this all the time. We love it,
so
don't we?
good at it. You're
Yeah,
so
you
good
are.
at it.
Well, he's quite good at it. He's not as good as Jamie Carragher
Oh, thank you for that. Thank you.
or
Thank
Stephen
you.
Gerrard.
Just something. Last year's Christmas
Or Michael
do.
Owen.
Last year's Christmas do. He ended up falling asleep in the middle of a nice reception of a hotel, Carragher. Splayed out. Disgrace.
It
Letting
doesn't-
his whole city down.
Doesn't change his playing record, though, does it?
No titles.
What do you mean no titles? Sir Jamie Carragher. Okay.
The Chris Evans Breakfast Show with Sky.